Can you get pregnant on your period? Do you drink alcohol to reduce period cramps? Does our period stop when we get into the shower? These are some of the things I'm going to be talking about in this vlog. Let's get started. I'm sure I'm not the only one who have heard this, that period cramps is reduced when you take alcohol. The truth is that alcohol could help thin your blood, that is, it could reduce the flow and sometimes eliminate it completely, but it doesn't help period cramps. It actually worsens it, because when you take alcohol, it could lead to dehydration, which could lead to bloating, which could make you feel more cramps. And you know, when you're already on your period, we're already bloated, we're irritated. Getting something that makes you feel bloated than you already are could lead to more discomfort. So alcohol does not reduce period cramps. However, I've heard from some women who say that when they take a glass of wine or one of their favorite alcohol, it eases them and lets them sleep for a little bit. But at the bottom line is that it doesn't help reduce the period cramps. Some women also say that if they haven't gotten their period at the usual time, taking a glass of wine or something pushes the period out. But again, when you take alcohol, it could temporarily alter your estrogen and testosterone level, which could alter your menstrual cycle and your ovulation cycle as well. So that could be the reason that if you haven't seen your period and you take alcohol, it pushes it out. Have you heard people say, oh my god, I'm on my period, I'm losing too much blood, I'm so tired? That's not true. When you're on your period, you actually don't lose a lot of blood. The average woman should lose just 2 to 3 tablespoons during her whole period. If you're a very heavy bleeder, we could push it up to 4 tablespoons. The small spoon, the very small spoon, 4 tablespoons. I was really surprised when I read that as well. And you know what? Because people don't know that when you're on your period, it's not just blood that comes out. There are other things that come out with it. Our period flow contains only 36% blood and 64% other elements such as tissue, blood clot, mucus, and uterine lining. But if you find yourself using 6 to 7 pads or tampons, or you're anemic, that is, your blood doesn't contain enough iron, making you very tired when you're on your period, then you should definitely go see your doctor. In as much as your chances of getting pregnant when you're on your period is slim, there is still a high possibility of that happening, because it all depends on your menstrual cycle and when you ovulate. If you ovulate much earlier in your cycle, or your period lasts longer than the typical 5 days, there's a possibility that you get pregnant while you're on your period. So say your cycle is 21 to 24 days as opposed to the 28 to 30 days, you're going to ovulate much earlier in your cycle. And contrary to popular belief, not every woman ovulates on day 14, so you need to take account of that. And our fertility window as women opens 5 days before our ovulation date. So if you ovulate on day 14, your fertility window opens on day 9. So from that period to day 14, you're very fertile. But if you ovulate much earlier, say you have a menstrual cycle of 21 to 22 days and you ovulate on day 8, it means your fertility window opens on day 3, the middle of your period. And because sperm can stay in the body for up to 5 days, if you have sex almost at the end of your period, you could still be able to conceive 3 or 4 days after your period ends. So that's something that you definitely need to keep account of. If you're not so sure about your menstrual cycle yet, if you haven't calculated that and you don't know when you ovulate, you should make sure to protect yourself and use a condom or go on a certain birth control. However, the possibilities of that happening is quite slim, but it does happen. And I know some people, when you hear about periods, they're like, oh, that's disgusting, it's unhealthy, it's unhygienic. That's absolutely not true. It all boils down to personal preference. There is nothing unhygienic or unhealthy about period sex. Some women actually get hornier during that period, and some women have said that when they have sex during their period, it helps them with period cramps. Just make sure to lay a towel, don't stain anywhere, and have fun while doing it. If we're going to be really honest though, it seems like when we go into the shower, we don't see any blood. Why is it not dropping on the floor? Does it mean that when we go into water stops it completely? That's not true. Being in the water does not stop your womb lining from shedding. It still sheds. But remember I said that we lose just 2 to 3 tablespoons of blood during our period. So I feel like we as women, we tend to over exaggerate the amount of blood that we believe that we're losing. So when we go into the shower, we want to see everything gushing out, but that's not it. It might just be 1 or 2 drops that comes out during your shower. But if you're using a bathtub, the vagina sometimes is filled with water that it mixes with the blood, watering down the blood and making it not visible for us to even see. The same thing with the shower. If you're in the shower, the water as well is mixed with the blood that it is not so visible. I know that if you can try this. I've tried this, and I've noticed that if I'm in the shower and I just turn off the tap, I could actually feel the blood and the water, and the blood becomes more visible than when I put on the shower. So I don't even need to leave the bathroom before I can see that difference. So it's not like it stops. It doesn't stop. It's just sometimes water down. So if you want to go to the pool, if you want to go have fun in the water, make sure to use a tampon or a menstrual cup that holds the blood right inside the vagina without it coming out. Okay, let me break this down. Some women have said that after childbirth, they don't have any period cramps anymore, or it has reduced substantially. And that is a fact for a lot of women. But some women as well have not been gifted with this privilege. Someone like my mom who has 6 kids, and when we're on our period, we're both sharing pills. Like, mommy, my tummy is aching. After pregnancy and childbirth, our uterus is stretched and our cervix is dilated. Normally, if you're on your period, your cervix has to open 1 centimeter for the blood to flow. But once you're going to give birth, that's childbirth, it has to open 10 centimeters for the baby to come out. So by the time you've given birth, the cervix has stretched a little bit and the uterus has stretched as well. That is one thing that makes it easier for the blood to flow and reduces the amount of cramps that you get. Another theory is the fact that pregnancy and childbirth resets your hormone. So when the womb muscles contract, the blood vessels compress it, which stops oxygen and blood flow from going to the womb. And when there is no oxygen going into the womb begins to secrete painful chemicals, and during that period there's a chemical called prostaglandins that is produced. This chemical leads to more contractions in the womb muscles, leading to pain. So with childbirth, some of the receptor pain sites in the uterus that creates that chemical is eliminated, and when you have fewer pain receptor sites, of course you're going to have less period cramps. That's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to know from you some of the things that you've heard about periods and you're like, is this true or is this really not true? Some of the things I've read as well. I can't put everything into this video. I was really surprised by it. There's one trick I want to give. So for people that watch this video to the end, it's a trick for women. You know that when you get your pads, your sanitary pads, the ones with the wings, it's just a trick that I learned recently. When you wear them during the day, the shorter part stays in front of the panties and the longer part stays at the back. I wish I had a pad now, I could do a practical, but you get what I'm saying. It stays in front and the longer one stays at the back. But that's because you're going to be sitting for the day and gravity pushes the blood to the back. But if you're going to bed, because you're sleeping on your tummy, gravity pushes the blood to the front. It is advisable, it's a good trick, that you put the longer part in front and you put the shorter part at the back, so that you can actually, the pad can make sure that it absorbs all the blood without staining your pants. I learned this recently. It's been helping me. I don't know if it's going to help you. You should try it out and let me know what you think after you've done this trick. Well, thank you guys so much for watching again. My name is Lolo Cynthia. Do not forget to like this video if you liked it, share the video for other people to watch, subscribe to our YouTube page and like my Facebook page. Thank you, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.